Oh, wow, we're going. Hi, I'm Matthew, and this is Philip, and we're on behalf of Caffeine-Free Games, and all the guys can't see right now, we'd like to talk about Project Hestia.
So Project Hestia is a top-down 2D horror game based on stealth. The game features no combat, but instead a mechanic in which you manipulate various forms of light. For example, we have the standard light, a small halo around the player, a more directed beam that will stretch further, and then a wide beam that will be not quite as far as the directed beam, but also a larger area. Secondarily, there will be various filters of light, which will be these here with yellow, red, and orange, which allow you to see various different objects and locations in the game.
And let me take over. And the reason why the lighting effects in this game are really important is because essentially it's a top-down 2D exploration game of sorts, where you play as a little girl in a dark environment, and she must use the light to navigate the dark environment. And of course, using light means she can detect enemies as well as the enemies being able to see her, which means we have these different types of light for different effects, and also the different types of colors of light for different effects, such as hiding spots. And let's see. And of course, the whole tone we're going for is really a horror darkness kind of feel, and hopefully people will be really into that. And of course, you really want to sympathize with the little girl because she is innocent in this very morbid environment, which is a hospital right now.
The game is going to feature some unique mechanics. Light has been used in a lot of games before, but never quite in this way. Secondarily, if the game becomes popular and receives critical acclaim, then we could port it both to smartphones and tablets and sell it on the Android market or the iOS store, as well as consoles, as the controls of the game would suit such a system.
And of course, we really think this game should be made because, let's say, comparing to other horror games, they've really fallen into a rut of sorts, where they're really action-focused, and you just don't feel the sense of terror and horror as you do anymore. That's why we're not having a combat system in this game at all, which means you really have to rely on stealth which will really encourage a feeling of helplessness against the much larger and stronger foes that are lurking in the environment.
Some of the reasons that our game is going to be awesome: it's going to feature some haunting music and surprise reveals by the light. Enemies will run across the beams and just be generally alarming. The game will be full of suspense and should be quite difficult. The backstory of the protagonist will be moving and emote strong, empathetic feelings in the player. And finally, sound will play a very important role in our game. We'll be working on that aspect of it in a lot of detail.
I really do think this game is really unique in the marketplace because there are not many similar games in this genre, particularly the psychological 2D horror genre. We can really think of many examples besides a game called Home and Lone Survivor. But if you really have to compare it to a game out there, the most similar would be Silent Hill, Shattered Memories, which did not end up being really successful, partly because we felt their mechanics weren't nailed too well.
The game is going to target general consumers aged 13 and up because of the unsettling and creepy nature of the hospital setting, as well as blood and the various soulless monsters that will be trying to get you. And that's all.
About it. Bye.